question that I could think of, and that is, what the F is a hook?
Okay. The hook is the thing that grabs your attention. And in this case, there are a few different things that can be hooks, but we're talking specifically about the on-screen text that grabs my attention. So the other place that you'll see hooks are magazine titles. So like the headlines that you see on a magazine when you're in the store, when you're like at the checkout line at the grocery store. Those are hooks, the headlines. They're trying to grab your attention. If you are still someone who reads a newspaper, whether it's a physical newspaper or an online newspaper, the headline, that is a hook. The first bold line of an article in a magazine, those are hooks. Hooks are just there to literally capture your attention, because it's not that we lack attention spans. It's that our brains now have to, like, our brains are designed to filter through information and only focus on what is important, relevant, and necessary. Like, that's what our brains are so smart. That's what they're supposed to do. And so hooks help. Like, if you can really understand who your ideal client is, what they struggle with, you can write hooks that stop their scroll because you've captured their attention and you've done it in a way that is relevant to them, has meaning, is something that is important, timely. So hooks can also be movement. So like when we're talking about short form video, like Reels with Instagram, if there's movement in the video in the background, those are also hooks. Any other visuals you use, so your brand elements, when you sprinkle those in, those are hooks because they're visual memories. Oh my gosh, I know that's Emily's content because of that, the like font and the color of that headline. I don't even need to read what it says to know that's Emily's or that's Sabrina's. So there's a variety of like things that you can use in your content that would be considered hooks to grab attention. Today, we want to chat about and specifically get into more detail about the text that you're using, the on-screen text, to stop me in my scroll so that I actually look at your piece of content.
I love it. Does the picture also have a lot to do with the clickability? Like, let's say the hook is fantastic, but the picture is boring AF. Will that lead any? Like, do we need both in order for there to be a click see more?
Yes and no. So like 2 years ago or so, it was really important that every visual that you used was like aesthetically pleasing, that really like aligned, that looked very curated and perfected. That doesn't matter as much anymore. In fact, for the most part, our brains are now, as we're filtering through, detecting if it looks very, very polished, it looks like an ad. If it looks like an ad, we're more likely to scroll. So there are a lot of business owners, whether you're like running your business by yourself, or maybe you have a small team, putting a lot of effort into the production value. And to a point, you want to have great production value. Like, you want the image to be clear. You don't want it to be grainy. You want it to have good lighting, all of this. But when we're going to far extremes with our production value to make it look perfect, it can actually be a turnoff in the scroll. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have that high production value for your website or for the things that people are purchasing from you, like the actual, physical things or virtual things, digital things. But when we're talking about social media content, yes, you want it to be visually appealing enough that I'm drawn in. But if there's an overproduction of it, it can actually deter me. Yeah. And there's a fine line for that. And it's different for every business, but basically speaking, what I hope your takeaway is from that is that don't worry if it's not perfect. It will usually perform better if it looks less perfected.